The term slop on the internet is thrown around left and right, which can get a bit repetitive from time to time. We all know what slop is, low quality products, and in this case, we're talking about Roblox games, or experiences. And I don't use that word ironically. Roblox doesn't facilitate games anymore. It's a manipulative platform that allows not only their player base to be groomed by its countless bad actors, but allows their developers to make games so addictive and dumbed down that it can stunt the psychological development of children. Flashy effects, AFK low-effort dopamine farms, and straight-up child casinos. For a platform that was initially made for children, you think this place would be a lot more innocent. And yes, this does imply that I think these shitty cash grab engagement farm games, they are a lot more damaging than people make them out to be. Society would absolutely crumble under the people who grew up on Grow a Garden, because I can imagine a world where these people can make good decisions for businesses, for themselves, or for others around them. The reason for that is because all they know in the realm of RNG games is just getting lucky. The Roblox slot problem isn't an oh my god, all the games are shit problem, it's an oh my god for the entire health of gaming in the coming generations. Millions of people play Roblox. Millions of kids play Roblox. So at some point down the line, we're going to have a turnover in gamers. Some might go to Steam, some might stay on Roblox, but the reality of it is your childhood matters a lot more than you think. What you subject yourself during your childhood may cause you to develop poorly. iPad babies watching Cocomelon have already seen the detrimental effects hyperstimulation and addiction have on children. Their speech is behind. They can barely string together a proper sentence. And the second you take away their tablet is the second you will have a knife to your throat. Research shows that video games are heavily tied to decision making. But instead of creating experiences where the brain is at least half engaged, we instead encourage them to spend as much money and time as possible on these predatory games. Surely there won't be a consequence later down the line when these kids turn 21 and get access to real gambling. You see the problem here? Most teenagers and adults can decipher what a well-made game is. Kids, on the other hand, are f***ing stupid, which makes them the prime target for these predatory practices. RNG mechanics that reward spending money, AFK rewards to maximize playtime, dumbed down gameplay that barely classifies as gameplay. By this point in the video, you're probably taking a side. Either A, you think I'm on the money, or B, you think I'm over-exaggerating the problem. And if you think I'm over-exaggerating the problem, I insist you keep watching. I will try and counter-argue all these points, and you can form your own opinion by the end of the video. But before I get into anything else, I have an announcement. I made a Discord server after all this time. Avazun's added my community. I'll have it linked in the description just in case you want to join, and all I ask is, don't act like one of them. And with that, let's keep this going. Even outside the psychological effects they bring, there are many other issues that these sloppy Roblox games create. Firstly, they set the precedent that Roblox games aren't made out of passion anymore, but for profit. And don't get me wrong, money is extremely important. Though, even as a YouTuber who's monetized and incentivized by money, I'm making this video for passion as well. There needs to be a strict balance when it comes to developing a game or just making art in general. Creative work consists of making the best product possible and making as much money as possible off that product. Is that crazy to say in this day and age? Make sure the players aren't being blatantly taken advantage of. Make sure your game's a game, and most importantly, ensure you feel good about your work. I guarantee you, these successful Roblox slop developers aren't as happy as they seem. The pursuit of money makes everyone miserable. Personally, if I manipulated kids, oh my god, that sounds so bad in the context, cut that. Personally, if I manipulated kids into wasting their life on my addictive RNG game, I'd feel like shit. If your goal as a developer is, let's make as much money as possible by doing jack shit, though it might work, you have done nothing in the realm of creativity or innovation. In fact, you are feeding into the problem, and respectfully, you aren't a developer. You're just a greedy entrepreneur. On an unrelated note, Roblox slop developers are the AI artists to real artists. A spit in the face to the entire creative industry and what it stands for. I'm not heavily anti-AI by any means. However, we need more authentic creators in all fields. Developers, writers, painters, sculptors, the list continues. Creative work in general is in high demand, especially video games. So with Roblox being free and video games being in high demand, the player base will consume anything, even if it's crap. There's a lot of money to be made here. But personally, I don't want to give metaphorical drugs to children and feed into this problem. The biggest issue with these games is not the game themselves, although I wish I could say that. It's the player base. The games wouldn't exist without the player base. People defend these games like their lives depend on it. Like, I'm genuinely serious. These practices are so normalized that an average Roblox player uses their experience on the platform as a scope on the general state of gaming. And before I tear apart into the arguments and why types of Roblox slop are bad for the platform, I want to preface this. You can play what you want, and you shouldn't let me tell you what you can or cannot play. Go wild, though please play in moderation. And if you don't have any friends to go outside with, I recommend expanding your hobbies or what games you play. However, I still heavily discourage engaging with these shitty games, and truth be told, I will be judging. So, let's take a look at some infamous types of Roblox slop games. Out of all the types of games that are coming up later in this video, these are the most tame, though oh my god, these games are boring as f***. People who defend RNG games bring up two primary arguments. Number one, the community is chill, and number two, this is a chill game. Well, that's kind of ironic they use the word chill as a backbone for the entirety of their games that consist of no game. Sorry, but neither of these arguments is very good. For the rest of the section, I'll use Grow a Garden as a punching bag. I mean a reference. Number one, a chill community doesn't equal a good game, and a bad community doesn't equal a bad game. Let me give you a little bit of lore here. A big part of my channel up until recently has consisted of me making videos on this Roblox game called Fighting, P-H-I-G-H-T-I-N-G. I love this game, but the community is a different story. A lot of them have a porn addiction, speak like schizophrenic squirrels, and have never gone outside since 2022. Although the community is horrid, and they kind of ruined my impression on the game a bit, objectively speaking, Fighting is a well-built game no matter how I feel towards it in recent times. Another good example of bad communities not completely ruining the game is Deepwoken. You'll meet your occasional no-lifer who immediately starts slurring the second you beat them in a chime match, but no matter how you put it, the game and community are always separate entities. Thus, Grow a Garden's chill community doesn't excuse its blatant lazy game design. If you could look at a game, be inexperienced, and say, I could make this, then there's a huge glaring issue. The reason we're seeing copies of this game in the first place has to do with how easy it is to copy the formula. Games like Grow a Business are pouring salt on the wound. Number 2, you can call this a chill game all you want, but if the chill game in question is barely a game and is a clicking and waiting simulator with no tangible experience, might as well not even play and go make a real garden. Going AFK after planting seeds is a gameplay feature in countless other games outside of this genre. I shit you not, I'm playing through Persona 3 Reload right now, and the player character can plant things and wait for them to grow in the background, while they actually progress and play the main game. Persona is a JRPG. They don't even need to have this feature. Okay, maybe it's not fair to bring AAA games into the equation, so let's instead compare GAG to a similar game of its nature. Fish. I never got too much into this game, mainly because my data was wiped. However, Fish suffers from a similar issue that GAG has. The entire game is a minigame. I hate to say it, but it's true. However, the thing that separates Fish from GAG is a difference in gameplay. It's much harder to go AFK in Fish because you actually have to be present to reel in the fish you caught in your line. So at the very least, it's a game, with a tangible enough experience for me to say, I could see why people play this. GAG, on the other hand, is... Oh my god, what the fuck, man. If you want a cozy or chill time, play an actual cozy game like Animal Crossing, which, would you look at that, it has both fishing and gardening in the game. Though instead, players opt to play these games because they're free, which is 100% reasonable. But the problem stems from how these games are created to reel you in. The excess dopamine you get from playing these engagement farms can cause major addiction if not moderated properly. These games aren't built to be fun. They were never fun. They are addicting. These games are a scheme, the goal being make them as addicting, profitable, and as lazy as humanly possible. Grow a Garden and these RNG games are industry plants. They're low effort to make and high reward for developers on the receiving end. They are self-aware of this fact, and they spit in the face of real Roblox developers. If you think that's bad, just wait until we cover the other types of horror games on this platform. I crown RNG games the king of laziness. With the power of Grow a Garden, Souls RNG. A little bit of fish, but not too much because that game is kind of respectable. Okay, never mind, actually. Thank you, Do Big. Thank you. However, in relative comparison to other slop, this category of slop isn't as bad. That's not an accomplishment, by the way. It just shows how low we stooped over the years. We still have child casinos to cover, after all. There's a difference between inspiration and copying, and unoriginal games are borderline copies of each other. All anime games fall into the category of unoriginal, whether you believe so or not. And as someone who watches a lot of anime in their free time, I cannot bring myself to play most anime Roblox games. That's because most of them are kind of shit. They are gacha games, but unlike Hoyoverse's gacha games, their gameplay is so bad, with no innovation. And on the off chance they are well-made games inspired by your favorite shows, the developers will just abandon the project for some reason. It's either that, or development teams are so incompetent, controversial, shitty, or just flat out that they just throw everything away because of their inflated ego. Or in some cases, the company that owns the IP threatens or sues to take the games down. I don't understand why Roblox developers insist on taking these brand risks. To make a sustainable game, you need to be original. And if you're going to use references to anime in your games, please mitigate the copyright properly and make the combat actually good. I'm gonna keep it a buck. 90% of the people who play these types of anime games or copy games are casuals. They're casual in the sense that they will overlook obvious game design oversights just to indulge in the culture of their favorite animes. Oh, you want to play a Saitama? Go play the strongest Battlegrounds. Which, might I add, Battleground games on Roblox are a plague. They are not that good. To quickly sum up the strongest Battlegrounds and my problems with it, I'm not saying you shouldn't play it or you should play it. I'm just going to be 100% objective. The game is clunky as hell. How do people enjoy this? Oh wait, I know why people enjoy this. It's because they get to do funny combos and play 5 animations on the opponent's screen. Yeah, that's fun, but it's like, it's not fun to be the receiving end of it, but it also isn't fun to just have a very clunky, irresponsive control scheme. Like, the dashes feel awkward, the N-lag feels awkward. Since the game is true stun, you'll be stuck in a combo for a good 20 seconds before you have control of your character. How do people find this fun? Once again, they don't find it fun for the combat, they find it fun for the aesthetics. It's a spectacle. And the same goes for these other games, like the sports games, like Blue Lock Rivals for instance, is just 90% spectacle, 10% game. The gameplay of Blue Lock Rivals is admittedly better than the basketball one I heard, but it doesn't excuse the fact that there is gambling for some reason, so they just use the IPs of famous animes to lure kids into playing the game to make money off of them instead of actually working on the quality of the game itself, which makes it sad because anime games in general have the highest potential. And even AAA companies suck at doing this with games like Jump Force. Though, the second these anime studios know how to make good gacha games with their own platforms and IP, we'll start to see less anime games on the Roblox platform. Now, on to copy games unrelated to anime. Yeah, okay. No, okay, never mind, you get the gist. Child casinos. The worst type of Roblox slop. The people who develop these games are scumbags. Though, even putting aside my personal bias, let's play the devil's advocate. If you weren't allowed an opportunity to make millions of dollars by scamming and taking advantage of the underdeveloped brains of children, would you take that opportunity or not? It is a very enticing deal to demoralize your reputation for such wealth, especially in this economy, which is in shambles. It's not morally upstanding, more so I think it should be a crime. But alas, this is the world of capitalism. Money is everything. That brings me to the king of greed. Big games. As you all know, Preston's already rich, yet he and his company continue to exploit children for profit, when the continuous creation of the projects does more harm than good. To explain why their games are bad would take no scientist. All you need to know is that they encourage gambling to young children and get them addicted to it, with the bright, colorful and oversaturated thumbnails, and interface, to the overpriced game passes and limited bundles, to the violation of Roblox's own TOS. How do they get away with this? Well, it's because they make Roblox a lot of money. Because money is everything. Yes, it is. Yes, it truly is. I love this platform so much. Companies like Big Games are disgusting. Now, on a similar but unrelated note, imagine if you're a millionaire who makes money by underpaying your workers and treating your customers like shit. You have more than enough money for a lifetime, and everything you could possibly want is in your possession. Would you continue to run this morally bankrupt company, or would you try to change for the better? Not to get too sentimental here, but if I were to get rich by immoral, even respectable methods, having all that money wouldn't make me happy. Money helps with stress, but it isn't happiness itself. To be honest here, I believe greed to be the worst sin of all because it results in infinitely more damage for everyone. Lower quality products for the consumer, and less satisfaction for the producers. I'm planning on creating a business myself, and I wouldn't mind getting paid the same as my workers, as long as I feel good about what I'm working for. Though instead, Big Games knowingly takes advantage of children for profit. That's all they care about. And let's exclude Big Games here. Corporations in general, even outside of Roblox, do this shit. It's rare to get paid a livable wage, they'll do everything in their power to fuck over the customer, and the rich are getting richer. They are plaguing not just the platform, but the entire world. My question is, where is all this money going to? Are they happy with themselves? The pursuit of money, once again, has over not only the quality of games on Roblox, but the entire world. Everything is turning anti-consumer, and everyone is miserable. And instead of helping each other out in a time of need, we just use ways to work around the law to bring each other down. Child casinos like these are borderline illegal, and I'm glad some countries are taking action against these heinous games. Big Games, Preston, are you proud of yourselves? All this money and nobody likes you. Are you happy? I'm not asking this out of spite, this is a genuine question. This section was supposed to be so much more hate-filled, but I can't bring myself to do that right now. We have a huge negative bias going on in society as of late, and a part of that is because of everything that has been going on as of late. It's hard to afford to be a good person right now, so it's not surprising that things are going this way. We're all chasing the money and not our dreams. Developers cast away their passion and take the easy way out. Game development was to share your creation with the world, and now it seems it's only a means to an end. Instead of making games with passion and getting paid enough to live at the same time, many developers opt not to put any effort in and manipulate children to spend money. They are low-effort, high-reward games that are specifically built to be addictive. This surge of dopamine is dangerous for everyone involved. Attention spans are dwindling, and standards are lowering. By the year 2030, they'll be in the gutter. We're so apathetic in this age of consumerism that predatory games like these will be called good at some point down the line. And that scares the hell out of me. What happened to passion and creativity? What happened to Roblox's motto? Are we powering imagination, or are we powering exploitation? Many of these slop games are not just massive time wasters and filled with bots, but they are downright predatory. And I'm scared not just for the future of Roblox, but also the world of media as a whole. People don't care enough about getting rid of child casinos. Roblox themselves don't care enough to protect children. And most importantly, people don't care enough to fight being exploited. As a consumer and as a human. As consumers of these games, we deserve better. Look at Nintendo for instance. They are doing everything in their power to f over the customer with these new policies and bullshit price tags. Yet, people are defending them like their lives depend on it. People who create your favorite games are not your friends. They are friends with your wallet. So please, spend your time and money wisely. Play in moderation, and the same applies to even well-made games. Support indie projects, consume all media in moderation, or just make yourself more aware of these things. There are manipulative things not just in video games and in Roblox, but in advertisements, EULA agreements, and the list continues. So stop being apathetic and start caring. When you have no self-respect for what you consume, companies like Big Games will use that to take advantage of you. There are developers on this platform who have put blood, sweat, tears, and passion into their projects. And recently, we've finally made some progress with games like Block Tales and Forsaken getting the recognition they deserve. So, this momentum we have needs to continue forth. We all need to bring good games back to Roblox. The engine has been updated and improved over the years. but the game quality has stagnated, all for the pursuit of profit. This is what the market wants. This is what you want. This is why the front page looks like this. If the player base wants Slop, that's what they'll get. End of story. Believe it or not, I think the Roblox Slop problem is a make or break for the platform. We need to get rid of these predatory practices altogether. And for God's sake, stop normalizing these things. Stop defending them. You're only giving them more power to f you. I think this segment from Eclipse's DDoS on Grow a Garden sums up this entire section perfectly.
Anyways, we need to get into Grow a Garden. That's the final thing on here. We've been going for an eternity, so I'm going to try to keep this shorter than I thought it was going to be. The Grow a Garden stuff is less about the players and more about the people behind it, because I want to talk about the sort of big games on Roblox culture as a whole and some of the disgusting stuff that's going on, along with basically proof of some of my concerns that I've talked about before, and how the video game industry as a whole might be in for some serious shit going forward if we don't start doing stuff about this now. And to be honest, I think it's too late because of a lot of these scumbags, but I hope I'm wrong. Hey Eclipse, about Grow a Garden, if there's a DDoS for Grow a Garden, here it is. Can I ask you for a big favor to log on to Twitter and read this? I stand up for what I believe in, and what I believe in is good quality games and not dog shit. And if that ostracizes me in the eyes of a whole bunch of people, then so be it. Either way, the tweet in question comes from Asimo3089, who is the co-owner of Jailbreak, and some of the stuff that he said in this message is vomit-inducing, and sounds like someone put a gun up to their head in order to make them say it, and I think I know exactly why they were saying it. Anyways, the comment is on screen right now. I'm not going to read through the whole thing because it is way too long, but if you want the TLDR of what this person was saying, they basically praised the absolute shit out of Grow a Garden, talking about how it's a very well-designed video game from a game design perspective, which, if any of you have played Grow a Garden, if you've so much as seen my video on Grow a Garden, you will not need me to tell you that Grow a Garden is the very last game that should come to your mind when it comes to well-designed video game. It is literally an idle game, and that's it. That's all it is. It's the bottom of the barrel when it comes to game design. A toddler could accomplish what they created with Grow a Garden. Anyways, the problem is that this person, along with basically every single person who makes these big popular games on Roblox, they don't actually see games as games. They see games as a means to an end.
Game development was to share your creation with the world, and now it seems it's only a means to an end.
A means to make money. They claim, to be clear, they claim to be passionate, most of them, about game design. But they are not. They are not passionate about game design.
In fact, you are feeding into the problem. And respectfully, you aren't a developer. You're just a greedy entrepreneur.
It's all about player counts. It's all about money. It's not about whether or not the game is good, whether or not the game is fun. None of that matters. It's all about how much money can I make, and whether or not the game is successful. And so this entire sort of manifesto about why Grow a Garden is actually a good game, none of that is actually what this person is saying. What they're actually saying is Grow a Garden is a great game because it's successful. And they're trying to scrape the bottom of the barrel as to trying to explain why this has become the most popular game on the planet. And yes, I said the planet. And if you're wondering why this person is doing this, it's very, very clear. It's very, very obvious, and if you haven't figured it out already, I will be telling you right now. The reason that this person is glazing Grow a Garden is because Grow a Garden is the best possible situation and the best possible end game for these people.
The goal being, make them as addicting, profitable, and as lazy as humanly possible.
It is a low-effort game that they put together in less than 2 months that has become the most popular game on the planet and is making them millions of dollars. If you are a large creator on Roblox and your main goal is the bottom line, do you think that it's in your best interests to say that high-quality games that take a long time to make and are good are the best games on the platform and you want to promote those? Or would you promote a game that took the bare minimum to create is objectively not a good video game, is really easy to put together, and still makes millions of dollars? I think the answer is extremely clear. It's disgusting, but it's extremely clear. And if you want to understand just how screwed we are, here's a tweet from the guy behind Grow a Garden. This was my favorite. If you want a laughingstock, go ahead and open up this guy's Twitter, because it's just a whole bunch of him sucking himself off about how great he is. But regardless, here's his tweet. I'm going to read it verbatim. Roblox companies are only consolidating in a desperate attempt to stay relevant. The narrative for the last 7 years in Roblox has been that when professionals and big studios arrive, that independent developers will become irrelevant and won't have the resources to compete. The opposite has occurred. The traditional bloat, slow approval process, and general lack of creativity has shown that these companies aren't well positioned to new age game development. How is the broader gaming industry going to react when for the last 10 years, 70% of all gamers have grown accustomed to the gameplay trends and design patterns that we have developed? They look at Roblox as low quality and esoteric. Little do they know, the design trends, user experience, and gameplay loops is what people expect these days. That's what I've been telling you. Guys, that's what I've been telling you for the last 2 years. I keep telling it to you. I keep pounding it into your head. And is it going to matter? No, it's not. The reality of the day is that gaming as a whole, because of Roblox, is going to be harmed. And this person, the person behind the current biggest game on the planet, is now telling you this. So at what point are you going to wake up? We are currently in the age where we can still get good games. But how long can we continue to get good games when the people who have grown up on Grow a Garden get to be the age that they're playing the current games? The games of today, the games on Steam, the games on EA, whatever, Game Pass. And what do you think that these companies who are directly profit-driven are going to do when they have the opportunity to make games that appeal to the same audience who made Grow a Garden the most popular game on the planet? They're going to put out garbage. They're going to screw us over. We're going to get worse games. Do you not understand that? I hate to end this on such a bummer note, but I literally can't not. I have been trying to warn you guys, and here you go. Here's the guy himself, the person responsible for Ground Zero, literally telling you exactly what I've been saying. We're fucked.
What a note to end on. At the beginning of this video, I want to address those who think I'm over-exaggerating this problem. Allow me to address those who think as such. Child predators, child casinos, condo games, which I didn't mention, and the overexposure to dopamine-inducing content. Do you think that I worded these meticulously to make them sound worse than they actually are? I try not to, because this is what it is. Is the Roblox slop problem as detrimental as Eclipse makes it out to be? Yes. I think it's that bad. As someone who's been playing Roblox for over a decade now, you'd expect me to brush all these problems off. However, it's gotten to a point where we're witnessing a tug of war for the quality of games. I grew up with Roblox, but I won't let my comfort with the platform belittle the obvious warning signs. These games are nearly illegal. This is a huge problem. There's a reason why Roblox is outcasted from the rest of gaming. It's the worst website and platform to let your children be on. And nearly all the negative press this company gets is 100% justified. Open your eyes. Roblox enables this. They enable their users to exploit each other for profits. There might be good games on this platform, but a few good things doesn't combat the horrendously majority of bad. I love Roblox from my own experience, but objectively speaking, it's a horrible place that your children should not have access to unless they're being monitored. We should be fighting these practices. We need this system to crumble. If America were to finally get off their ass and ban these child casinos, that would not only protect the children, but it would also remove half the fucking front page on this platform. Hell, if the EU were to ban them, all the better. As Eclipse said, this is not just about Roblox anymore. This is for the health of gaming. And don't say we already haven't been seeing these anti-consumer lazy cash grab products from other companies. Look at EA, for example. We have to start supporting small developers. Start recommending good games. Bring back the sense of community we've once had on this platform. It's hard to find imaginative games here. So much in fact that I spend hours scrolling, searching, just to resort to playing the same few games. This is a very fixable issue. We need to fight for better standards. Don't settle for less. And for my developers watching this video, work with content creators to update your game. There's been a resurgence of demand, communication, and production. We need more developers who care. And even though I'm a small YouTuber myself, I'd say I have a lot of things to give regarding game design and whatnot. So don't be afraid to ask. Roblox is supposed to be a community, not a wasteland. The end of this video may sound a bit cliche, but I'm glad people are finally speaking up about this ongoing problem. I even asked my own fanbase if they thought Roblox had a slot problem, and here are some responses. This is for a video. Do you think Roblox has a slot problem? And if so, what concerns do you have? The Burnman33 says, every simulator or RNG game feels the same. Maybe it really wouldn't be Slop if the games tried doing anything else but making money. Piccolo just says, lack of creativity. You can see this with every popular game. Also, greedy companies ruining games. Like Fish, for instance. Draco says, new games being made purely for the purpose of earning money. Which is inherently not a bad thing, but the way they go about employing such paid activity in their games is poorly designed, leading to lots of pay-to-win prioritization of money over the gameplay or user experience, which would in turn, you would think would hurt the game, leading to less income. But as we see with games like many, not all, but many, modern simulators, they are able to make much. More and more companies and studios, rather than indie devs, have started appearing on Roblox, again, trying to capitalize off of it. Puzzle Rosca just says, Preston, yo, WWW! Yes. There's not enough Donkey Kong. For a genuine answer, yes, of course, 100%. Slop games on Roblox are a result of a self-fulfilling prophecy that starts with people making games with little to no effort being put in them. Players on Roblox then get on those games, which causes Roblox to push those games to the front, which only encourages creators to make more low-effort games. It's seriously sick when games like Entry Point or Fighting are trying to break the mold, only to get shut down because of Roblox's failure to deliver an experience for all audiences. The issue is, Roblox has no incentive to stop this because actual good games take more effort to make and make less money, meaning that 1, there is always going to be more slop games, and 2, those slop games make more money for the company. It's ultimately up to the people on Roblox to be better than that and give love to the games that actually deserve it. Stove Enjoyer says, I see the problems with the shitheads who play sloppy cash grabs like Souls RNG. However, many popular games on Roblox use predatory methods like gambling to keep children engaged, which I think Roblox should not allow. There's also the issue of botting in games like Bloxburg or Grow a Garden, which results in a fake player count, which gives said games an unfair advantage. Ambi No Break Space 7054 says, the only creativity I see are the people managing to squeeze microtransactions into games. In any game that spams free models, AI meshes, you get the deal. To be quite frank with you, I don't want to end this video on a low note, mainly because there's ways to fix this. Roblox's front page is promoted by the taste of its users, and as users, we've collectively played games to feed into the algorithm to give us stuff that we really don't want. The majority of us do care about games. The majority of us don't want to be exploited, and the majority of us see Roblox as a creative outlet. Not because of the gambling, not because of the money. We never joined this platform with the intention to exploit each other. But because of how easy it is, we have bad actors who are feeding into this problem. And once again, I have to reiterate, the problems aren't the game developers or the creators of these games, it's the community. These games would not have a foundation of support if it weren't for us to begin with. And I just want to preface this. You can play what you want, once again. However, what you play can adjacently affect the experiences of others on this platform. So please, play in moderation, and let's fix this problem together. Or you could just stop playing the games in general. Anyway, in the coming uploads of this channel, I'm going to have a few videos similar to this one, so stay tuned. if there are no other questions regarding of my whereabouts, I'll just keep it at this. Make sure to like and subscribe, turn on post notifications if you want to. I'm Atha from Mouse on TV, signing out, I'll see you guys later, and I'm out of here. Why the hell are you still here?